Alright, what's up everybody and welcome back. We've got REYNOR up here in the top left side. It's the quarterfinals of HomeStory Cup. Finally getting around to cast these games. REYNOR came in flash hot, looking fantastic for Basilisk, but running into his Basilisk teammate here. These guys played, was it the semis or the round of 8 at Sweden as well? So just a few weeks later, this is just 2 weeks after the Sweden ESL Summer Masters tournament, and SERRAL kind of dominated REYNOR there. REYNOR played a good series, and it looked like SERRAL just wasn't going to give him any chance to play a proper StarCraft game. SERRAL kind of dominated REYNOR, and REYNOR did not look bad. REYNOR looked very good for that whole tournament. But yeah, that was a kind of crazy series. It was the semifinals, now I remember it, because remember, REYNOR should have lost to Beyond, arguably, in a very hard-fought series. Beyond was playing like a god out of his mind, but had some wrist issues, and there was obviously a bit of a tragic loss for Beyond, where he was way up and walked a lot of Marines into Banelings. But anyways, this is a ZvZ. Classically, SERRAL has the win advantage in their head-to-head. But there was a year in 2021 where REYNOR beat him in all the big tournaments. I think 2021, 2022, around there. So a lot of the big tournaments, SERRAL still beat him in some of the smaller ones. But when it came to those big regionals and the premiers when they ran into each other, usually it was REYNOR that came out on top. Despite that, SERRAL still has, I believe, about a 60% win rate versus him. And with that 3-0 win recently, REYNOR's going to look to start with some very big aggression. That is an early Roach Warren. He's going to go for a big Roach Baneling attack. And he's doing it off 26 workers. This is quite all in. SERRAL's going for the Baneling nest. He's building a few Zerglings defensively. Both sides are going to scout. Evo chamber at the front. Notice REYNOR. That is a surprising setup. If SERRAL's super smart, he should say, wait, REYNOR's sitting there blocking my scouting? Why is he doing that? Because REYNOR doesn't block your scouting very often unless he actually has a very good reason to. SERRAL's does not realize that, though. That's like next level pattern recognition to realize, like, wait a second, he normally doesn't hold position his lings like that very much. This is kind of weird. 7 roaches are on the way. SERRAL, you need to realize you've got drones rallying to your third. You haven't seen any drones rallying to his. It's not that suspicious just yet. Roach Warren goes down in the wall off. Here we go. First roach is about to get spotted. No. Yes, there we go. Okay, the roaches are coming out right now. REYNOR does show them pretty early. I think he may have shown this a bit too early. But how many roaches is it? 7 roaches, a bunch of lings and banes. REYNOR's already going to drones behind this. REYNOR is not looking for the win. He's looking to kill the third base. If he can get more damage, then awesome. But notice, because he's not rallying lings and roaches, it is going to be drones behind this. Banelings coming forward. Queens, banelings for SERRAL. SERRAL's Roach Warren's still a while away. He's trying to build 3 spine crawlers here. The drones evacuate the mineral line. But look at that. REYNOR already focuses down 2 of SERRAL's banelings. That allows his Zerglings to close in on top of the Queens. A very nice start to the engagement for REYNOR. Those banelings are going to finish, but REYNOR does spread his out. The roaches and banes running past right now. He's actually going to try and go for the workers. Oh, SERRAL does focus the baneling down there. His spine crawlers, one of those falls does not get cancelled. Lings and drones trying to defend. It's just a pack of roaches, but if these roaches can kill a whole bunch of these drones, that'll be pretty nice. I wonder if REYNOR should have stayed there and just killed the spine crawlers and gone for the third. Going in up the guts, not a bad move. Those roaches are definitely trading very well. I mean, look at the units lost tab. That is pretty damn nice. Does he have anything to defend the counterattack, though? REYNOR is now up 6 workers. He's building 4 more. He's got almost nothing at home. A few Zerglings, and he can morph Banelings. SERRAL should be counterattacking right now, but he's not. He's got 10 Zerglings versus just 6. I'd love to see him poke around and just look for a few snipes here and there. He sees a lot of drones on the third of REYNOR. Compare that to SERRAL's empty third base, and SERRAL's definitely trailing after this aggression. He now moves out, but I think he was worried about maybe a Zergling backstab or more units coming across. REYNOR's going for a carapace, which tells me we might see another giant hatchery tech Roach Bane attack for REYNOR. He might just be like, cool, I'm at 50 drones, 54. Let's just mass roaches and go for it again, round 2. It's a very small counter pressure from SERRAL right now. SERRAL's just droning, builds a lair, builds an Evo chamber. I don't know about the delayed carapace Roach Bane attack. This seems like a cool idea in theory, but he needs to be building mass roaches right now. He's showing so many mutas, is REYNOR. SERRAL's still seeing no drones on that third. He sees roaches popping out, so SERRAL's got to go back to roach production now, because he's already built 5 workers. That's going to tie up the worker count, and then he can go back into roaches and try to survive. Problem for him. Oh, okay. REYNOR does avoid the banelings. Nicely done. Problem is that SERRAL is simply behind. So even now, starting roaches at an even work account. In an even game, that means you're playing super safe. In this game, he's down 30 army supply. Reynor could explode across this map. He's waiting for Carapace right now. Still building a big mixture of roaches and zerglings. These zerglings poking in on that third base. There are still 2 spines for SERRAL. That helps anchor his defense a little bit. Those lings do get surrounded a bit, but SERRAL's solid on the D. He's got +1 range on the Evo chamber. Remember, Carapace is going to be very useful for keeping those units alive, making them a bit tankier. Massing units. Reynor's going to go for it round 2. He's supply blocked on 130, though. He doesn't have that much lava. He's got a lot of minerals floating right now. And these lings going to come in for a nice little backstab for SERRAL, trying to distract. Can Reynor get it done? He is far ahead from the earlier stages, but right now, he's not actually got the best rally because of that supply block. Definitely want to see him take a 4th base behind this and kind of add something else to layer in. But 25 roaches versus 11. He's also going to have 12 banelings versus 2. Man, this is scary for SERRAL. The spine crawlers, the ravagers, the queens need to do some work right now. Reynor kind of backs up a little bit, tries to take the concave, but it's only a matter of time till roach speed and +1 kicks in for SERRAL. You want to get in there before that. The lings go in and surround. SERRAL's banelings get big juicy hits there. The ravagers trying to pull back here, as are the roaches. The spine crawlers really helping out SERRAL. Nice concave management for him, but Reynor's banelings get some pretty juicy hits on the roaches. They're not the best unit versus roaches, but when the roaches are clumped up, they still take decent damage. Beautiful corrosive biles breaking Reynor's concave there. SERRAL has to pull back behind the spines, though. By the looks of it, those spines are doing very good damage. If SERRAL can hold on here, dude, this is going to be an epic hold for SERRAL. SERRAL's going to hold on right now. This was a fantastic hold. Reynor's follow-up aggression. He's trying to throw the kitchen sink at SERRAL. This does not work, and that actually puts the ball back in SERRAL's court. I don't know if the supply block was the issue, or maybe he just needed to push a little bit faster, but it definitely feels like that second wave of attack did not go his way. You can see Reynor goes from being very ahead on the units lost tab from the first fight to now being down 500 resources. What a swing. He's also way later on the lair, so his roach speed is much later. He's only now started that 4th hatchery, despite floating money for quite some time here. Reynor may be playing a kind of fast and loose style, but he's making a few more mistakes than normal, and he's actually down on roaches and moving on the map against the player with roach speed. SERRAL could hunt that army down right now. Reynor, dude, he's playing so risky. The only way this could work for him is if SERRAL gets paranoid and gets scared and says, oh, he must have a bigger army than me, otherwise he wouldn't be pushing. But SERRAL realizes this was Reynor's mistake. Luckily, Reynor gets back on creep, pulls back to the high ground. He's got to try and recover in this scenario. Reynor's going to try and defend on the ramp. The Overlord does go down to the bile. Nice move. Ling backstab for Reynor, though. Use those fast hands, Reynor. Use those backstabs. This is how you're going to get yourself back into this scenario. It's not like he was that far behind because he did have a lead going into the previous push, but it's the tech deficit that's massive. SERRAL's actually just going to shove with 48 drones and mass roach ravager right now. SERRAL is going for a big all-in attack. It's +1 range versus +1 carapace. +1 range is the better upgrade for SERRAL there. The ravagers also forcing Reynor to dodge the biles, and dodging when you don't have roach speed is very awkward. This is a big push for SERRAL. He's still up 20 army supply, but defenders advantages here. Reynors and roaches are popping out right into the battle. He's got the queens there helping out as well. No spine crawlers on his side. If he can break through the ravagers, that would be huge. SERRAL's reinforce is a little bit slow here. Behind this, Reynor is actually morph banelings in the back of SERRAL's base. If he could get some damage there, that'd be huge. He holds on. He's up 13 workers. Reynor maintains the economic advantage, and he survives the scariest part of this game because he's got roach speed, +1 range, both about to finish. Both of these guys are throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Once again, it seesaws back in Reynor's direction massively. Defending such a big worker advantage is huge. SERRAL's trying to drone up. He does have +2 range. He starts carapace and can get up to maybe 60 workers. SERRAL's still in an okay spot. He's also been killing a few more overlords using the biles. Reynor with some quick dodging. Still takes 3 biles to the face, though. Only 1 more to finish that guy off. Reynor's going to do some roach splits. I don't think the Oversaw saw that. Neither side has invested in Overlord speed. They don't have a lot of vision on this map, but SERRAL senses what's happening. He realizes that Roach army is too small on the front. Oh, Ravagers are exposed, though. You don't want to lose these Ravagers. Reynor's, he could jump on top and kill some Ravagers for good value. The Roach is coming back to the front for SERRAL. He loses 1. He loses a second one as well, but Reynor's committing a lot of Roaches for this. His other Roaches coming in from the north. I think SERRAL is doing a great defense. Reynor, his Roaches on the north took way too long to get back here. That was a fantastic D. The big mistake Reynor made is he split roaches on the top, and then SERRAL was quicker to realize they weren't coming and pulled them back into the fight. If Reynor had darted in on this base, he could have killed a bunch of drones, got some damage, made that a good fight for himself. But as it is, it swings back in SERRAL's favor. They're back to pretty even in the units lost tab, and we are seeing both players go punch for punch. Reynor now adding his 2-2 upgrades, though. He's going for the upgrade advantage, and Carapace has not started for SERRAL, who's building a Hydra Den. This is basically SERRAL saying, I know who you are. Your name's Reynor. You're a cheeky little Italian boy who likes Mutalisks. I'm going to go Hydras to preempt that transition. SERRAL does not know there's Mutalisks. He is assuming it. He's guessing, just based off what he knows about his opponent. Problem is he's wrong. It's an incorrect guess. He's not getting Carapace upgrades, so he's falling behind in the upgrades a little bit, and he's trying to ascertain what the next step is. Little does he realize the Spaghetti Boy is a little bit more happy to basically just mass roach. He's not doing anything fancy. SERRAL's like, what's the next step? What's the next step? He's so eager to figure out what Reynor's next step is. It's staring him right in the face. It's, I'm gonna make Roach Ravager. You know, it's the most basic standard Zerg plan. Reynor is not overcomplicating things. He's not going Hive. He's not going for anything fancy. SERRAL, on the other hand, is trying to go Burrow, Tunneling Claws, Carapace now adding in. He's trying to get all these fancy things, but he is trailing in supply a little bit. He does need to finish maxing out on those roaches. 61 drones for SERRAL, 63 for Reynor. Reynor has the income advantage, and now that he has +2, he's got a Carapace upgrade advantage as well. +2 Carapace kicking in will give him a double Carapace upgrade advantage, which is huge in Roach vs. Roach. Ravager count 8 for Reynor. Reynor has the Ravager advantage, which means he can really force some good positions, and he actually gets a double Baneling and kills 4 drones. Also forces some Roaches away. Does it allow him to take position? He's trying to shove in right now. SERRAL getting pushed back a bit. Reynor with a bit of a better concave. Great positioning by Reynor, but look at the south. The bottom side of the concave is getting really bad for Reynor. Reynor may be overextending here. The top side is crumbling for SERRAL, though, so it might actually be worth it. Taking a bad fight on the south to get a good fight on the top might be worth it. Oh, but SERRAL does chase him down, hunts him back. Very nice defense by SERRAL. You can see SERRAL now 1,000 resources ahead in units lost. This is actually incredible. Normally, one player crumbles under the aggression and falls way behind. Other than Reynor's very first surprise Roach Baneling attack, the attacker has lost almost every engagement. These guys have played, they're playing proper StarCraft. The defender is correctly using defender's advantage almost every time to take a better fight, get ahead in the trading, and get a lead for themselves. Now, the problem is SERRAL is down 5 workers, especially after those drones brought those 4. He's down in the numbers a little bit. So even though he wins the last fight, he's got to be very careful. Nice Roach Burrow move, though. He sent a pack of Roaches down in the south of the map. They're going to get in, kill 4 drones. He's going to be able to take off these Roaches one at a time as he runs in as well. Look at the way he just runs, focus fires, moves and shoots, moves and shoots. SERRAL, the master of the Tunneling Claw Roach. I've credited this man with getting the Tunneling Claw regen rate nerfed. He claims that wasn't him, that got nerfed before he was even that good with it. I disagree. I don't care. I'll rewrite history if I have to. SERRAL is so annoying with his Tunneling Claw Roaches. Look at that. He's splitting a single Roach off to try and leave in that base to harass later. Those Roaches still circling the main. This Roach Ravager looking for the angle on the front. Reynor with very good Corrosive Vials to hold him back. 2 Roaches pop up in that base as well. I didn't even know where those Roaches came from, but Reynor is getting tested. I think SERRAL is attacking in so many places, it's going to be near impossible for Reynor to defend. The Roaches in the top are getting dealt with. These Roach Ravager in the bottom, both still trying to avoid each other's Corrosive Vials, but SERRAL has position on the mineral line. He unburrows a Roach inside the main base. He's focusing down some drones there. The Queen does come forward. She will deflect that Roach for a while and tank some of the damage. SERRAL's going to split some more Roaches on the right, but oh, he gets intercepted. Reynor pounces on top, gets 3 Roach kills for free. The Roach in the main trying to take out that Queen. Reynor does respond. More Roaches going to tunnel into the 3rd base right now. The Spore Crawler is not rooted right now. Normally, I don't think of Reynor as a guy who has a problem getting a root down, but that is an issue right now. Oh, the Roach is already unburrowed, so it doesn't matter. They reveal themselves. The lack of detection not really hurting him there. The Roach is luring a lot of Roach Ravager out of position. SERRAL's going to jump on top of Reynor in the middle of the map. Reynor may have gone too far this time. Oh my god, this is an incredibly high-level Roach Ravager dance, but SERRAL kind of shoving into an awkward spot. It might be worth it because he has the numbers advantage. And here we go, reinforcements for Reynor coming in, Corrosive Vials landing on both sides. It's so even in the numbers. 57 workers versus 57. Almost dead even on the army supply. Keep in mind, Reynor has +2 Carapace. SERRAL does not. SERRAL's still got Burrow Roaches in the north. I really feel if SERRAL can get some Roaches around the bottom and then into the natural and this 5th base, that'd be fantastic. SERRAL's own 5th base is a little bit later. Hive does start for Reynor. Reynor's been half a step ahead on the tech most of this game. He's now making more Roach Ravager. So is SERRAL. SERRAL's only just started his infestation pit though, so it's going to be a little while till he gets to that next spot. Roaches managed to ambush SERRAL's Roaches in the north of the map. Let's watch this from SERRAL's vision, or REYNOR's vision, actually, for just a few moments.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh, here we go. All right, guys, let's go back to everyone's camera. SERRAL's back in the base over there. He split more roaches on the top as well, so REYNOR's outnumbered. Good pullback, though, to avoid disaster. Well, we still outnumbered, though. You've got to be careful here, REYNOR. He's bringing a few more roaches up. Transfuses start to go down to stabilize. Looks like he will hold on for it now. Roach Ravager in the middle of the map, backing away from the biles. REYNOR's got a squad of roaches there. Looks like more roaches for SERRAL. SERRAL seems to actually be splitting so much off his army that his main army is dangerously small. If REYNOR can catch the main army to punish that, that'd be huge. SERRAL going to try and run away from the main army with these roaches, realizing he's outnumbered, he's outgunned there. Overseer sees it, though. REYNOR's got speed. Overseer's on patrol everywhere. He sees the roaches coming. SERRAL still trying to shove in with it, feeling like he might have caught REYNOR out of position. Not just yet. Here we go. Army gathering up in the middle of the map right now. Those roaches are starting to fall. Roaches skirmishing at the bottom of the map. It's all about multitasking positioning, trying to dig for mistakes. SERRAL, the roaches in the top, somehow got in. I don't know how they got in there, but they're going to unburrow in the main and start killing drones even as we speak. The roaches in the bottom are trading reasonably evenly. Oh, even as I say, he messed up. REYNOR is quick to catch it. Gets on up there, still maintaining 56 drones. Because all the fighting's on REYNOR's side of the map, it is so one big mistake. He loses 20, 30 drones. It's game over. But somehow he's hanging on, and he's actually taking better fights than SERRAL. This is so difficult to do. It's so hard to actually defend in this sort of scenario because you don't have spines, you don't have wall-offs, you don't have any room for error when you're in the 50s of drones. This is not a 70 worker economy. You lose 10 drones, you're on 60, you rebuild them, not that big a deal. You lose 10 drones as either player here, you're down to like 42 or 47 workers, which is not a good economy whatsoever. SERRAL's going for Vipers and a couple of Hydras here, whereas the Lurker Den is on the way for REYNOR. REYNOR has not gone for Vipers just yet. This is more of a distraction for REYNOR than anything else. Notice they're both dropping biles. They're both dodging biles. Roach Ravager in the bottom, though, going to take out a Queen. REYNOR's got to get out of there. SERRAL's on top, as always. REYNOR shoves on the top, though. Ooh, look at that. He split roaches to the right side. You can see in the top right of our screen. He gets the hatchery snipe. REYNOR grabs the hatchery with the biles, moves away. Doesn't overcommit at all. He's going to regroup in the center, but uh-oh, he might be presenting a bit of a surround for SERRAL if he's not careful. And a few of his units do get stuck behind there. Vipers are out. Vipers aren't that amazing versus just Roach Ravager. SERRAL is going to need to get lurkers of his own. He hasn't built a lurker den. So it's kind of just that big mobile army. We've got the first two lurkers making for REYNOR. Roaches burrowing into his base in the midst of this. More roaches trying to sneak by on the top as well. I don't think there's an overseer on the top. That might be the one area where REYNOR screwed up. Those roaches do sneak by, but REYNOR's going to shove the south, and he's going to focus that hatchery down really nicely. Looks like he cleaned up the roaches, forced them to burrow into the main base. Skirmish on the top happening at the same time as the bottom. Near impossible to actually watch all of these fights at once because these guys are just constantly trying to press at each other and find advantage by attacking 3 or 4 places at once. Roaches on burrow in the base yet again. REYNOR's on top of it. REYNOR is always on top of it. It's almost a mistake at this point for SERRAL to keep burrowing roaches in. Most players would crumble under this pressure, but REYNOR is able to flow. I think he actually enjoys the insane multitasking challenge. It's like giving Marine King Prime a Marine Split challenge, you know? You're like, hey, REYNOR, defend 6 bases from non-stop multi-prong for 10 minutes straight. And REYNOR seems to be doing very well. Oh, good cancel there for SERRAL. Oh, Evo Chamber block, but REYNOR quickly focuses it down, breaks his way into the base. Roaches in the top get caught for SERRAL. SERRAL's got to be careful. That army could collapse on him. He's trying to deal with these roaches, but REYNOR's going to take out the Queen. He's splitting some roaches to hide inside the edge of that base. He has burrow as well. Even if he doesn't have the tunneling claws, he can at least hide and pop up later. Roach Ravager Hydra coming in. Blinding Cloud, good. REYNOR with an accidental burrow there. That could not have been on purpose, guys. Ooh. No doubt shaking his head a little bit at that big mistake, but he still feels he has the numbers. Another Blinding Cloud goes down. Where are the lurkers, guys? The lurkers are defending right now. REYNOR's still just trying to run in and out with his Roach Ravager, dropping biles. He's trying to land the corrosive biles to get the value. There are still roaches in the main. They're going to come back in and start focusing the drones. Very nice plays here by REYNOR. SERRAL, though, so quick to respond. The popping roaches start to defend that. SERRAL's now the one who's losing in the worker battle. He's down to 50 drones versus 56. The Ravagers, the Hydras, and now the first lurker coming out for SERRAL will stabilize on this angle. The way REYNOR was committing on there was kind of crazy. Like, that was some wild, I'm going to shove in, and if I break this base, I win this game. He was not able to break the base. The lurker holds. There's Vipers out, and REYNOR only has 1 Viper. He's building 4 more now. The fact that he has this extra base on the left is huge. He's going to need a 6th base soon. He takes the 6th base and the double gas to keep things going. He does deny SERRAL's mining. Kills a few drones there. SERRAL's down to 45 workers. SERRAL does not have a lot of money to spare. And remember, SERRAL's only on 4 bases. He keeps losing this one, which is very valuable gas mining. At this point, I do think SERRAL should probably be abducting Ravagers into his army. They are 100 minerals and 100 gas each, and it's well worth abducting them when you're both on low economy like this. You don't want to just wait for the giant blinding cloud or the giant abduct on the lurkers. So you've got the Viper advantage. You should be punishing Reynor for being this up in your face, but instead Raynor's running around with Mass Roach Ravager, a very basic army, and yet he's bullying a SERRAL that's up to 7 lurkers and has been on 4 Vipers for a while, sitting there with quite a lot of energy. This is giving Reynor time to add his own Vipers. He's got 5 of them. He's going to suck a lot of energy off that hive there. For those who don't know, the way that works, it's kind of like a cow with a salt lick. The Viper's like, oh, I need minerals, and it just basically licks the hatchery, and then suddenly it just gets a giant sack of mana on its back that it can use to abduct units. It's science. What can I say? Roach Ravager does clean up the double lurker run by attempt from Reynor. Reynor, those were his only 2 lurkers. He still has not made any more lurkers in this game. SERRAL's got Adaptive Talons on the way. 3-3 for Reynor. Only 3-1 upgrades for SERRAL. Those upgrades do make a difference. And oh my god! The Ducks coming. He abducts 3 lurkers straight down the low ground. This is SERRAL's only economy. SERRAL, he needs to defend this base. He loses another 5 workers. He's got to abduct these units. He's looking for the enemy lurkers, but there are none. You've got to just abduct Hydras, Ravagers, and find a way to take this fight. Maybe abduct his Vipers. If you can abduct them into your Vipers, that'll be good. But look at this. Oh, they both trade places right there, guys. A little bit of a body swap. Oh! That's a crazy thing right there. Roach is trying to burrow and move further forwards as well. Freaky Friday ZvZ right here, man. Viper's trading places yet again. And it looks like Reynor comes out on top, gets the focus down. He keeps 4 of his Vipers alive. SERRAL's go down. And at the end of 23 minutes of the most ridiculously action-packed ZvZ, Reynor shows that even SERRAL's attacking in 4 places with Roach's non-stop multi-prong will not break him. That was some of the most impressive defense I've ever seen. SERRAL defended well also, but Reynor, I feel like he was in a protracted scenario of just hanging on for dear life, and he did it so clean. All right, let's go, guys. We've got Basilisk's Reynor down here going for what appears to be a 12 pool opening. Taking an impressive game 1 victory over SERRAL. Finland versus Italy. It is a teammate showdown. And honestly, I really feel like Reynor just looked next level in that game. That being said, he did kind of, like, arguably, you see Reynor denying your scouting like that in game 1, and you should realize something's up. I think SERRAL didn't realize because Reynor almost always plays very standard versus SERRAL, like, and doesn't try to attack quite so early. It's more like 35 drone onwards is usually when he starts thinking about doing a lot more aggression. And I think SERRAL was like, yeah, it's Reynor. I'm normally the one who kills Reynor early in the first couple games in a series. He normally starts off aggressive with momentum. And I've always said that basically SERRAL plans his series better than Reynor, and Reynor tries to play very standard openings and then like figure out in the middle of the series how to win the game. Whereas SERRAL comes out with his like amazing hard counter plans and just gets free wins. So for Reynor to win game 1, he had a great first attack. His second attack sucked and kind of gave momentum back to SERRAL, but then SERRAL tried to attack him, gave momentum back to Reynor. It was very back and forth in terms of that. At the end of the day, though, SERRAL loses the first game. Now Reynor's putting on heavy pressure. It's been a while since I've seen 12 pool versus SERRAL. He's famous for shutting these attacks down without losing a single drone. See how this micro war goes. He's trying to buy time, waiting for his Zerglings to come out. Oh, he moved away from the pocket. He has to get in the other pocket now. Those drones are getting very low, guys. Those drones are getting very low. The Lings are now coming out. SERRAL, he's lost 1 drone so far, guys. A lot of the drones are very heavily damaged. Reynor needs to finish a few more of these off. He's got to focus these red point drones. He gets a second one. Only 2 drones going down. Units lost tab. Pretty good for SERRAL. He chases a little bit too far, but that's okay. I think that's a good hold. Yeah, he's got 2 queens out. That looks like a fantastic hold, right? There is no follow-up all in. Reynor's just started mining gas. He's got his own 2 queens out. He does have injects started, I think, a little earlier. Nah, at most a few seconds earlier. SERRAL's building a spine. Why would SERRAL build a spine crawler here, guys? Okay, so SERRAL thinks he might be getting all in afterwards. He's building a spine, but the thing is, now Reynor's seen that. Reynor's just like, lol, drone up. SERRAL, cancel that spine right now. Yeah, okay. That's paranoid play from SERRAL. You got 10 lava available. You need to be droning and building overlords. His overlords need to pop. He's got to hold that drone key down. Overlord pops. Drones do start up. 8 drones starting up. But SERRAL, I think, could have been ahead off this opening. Instead of that spine crawler, he should have started those overlords immediately and the drones immediately. But he was worried that REYNOR would follow up the 12 pool with a speedling all in. So it seems like SERRAL's misreading REYNOR's play a little bit here. Despite that, I'd say it comes out relatively even. But I do think with how good SERRAL's micro is, only losing 2 drones, 6 lings for 9 lings. And also, not just that, but not overbuilding lings. Sometimes you see players end up with like 12 zerglings left over. SERRAL's got 6. He went back to droning at the right time. I do think it's still pretty decent. Now you could say, no, look, SERRAL's ahead, but keep your eyes on the production tab, guys. REYNOR is going for a speedling pressure here. He's going to go for an Evo chamber, pushes back the Overlord. So he's going to take a quicker third base. He's going to do a speedling pressure. SERRAL's going Baneling Nest and a third base on the purple gas? SERRAL is a mad dog. SERRAL's going to go for the purple gas. REYNOR's like, whoa, but he's already building lots of zerglings. I think this is perfect for REYNOR because he's going to go with about 40 zerglings. His ling speed's about 10 seconds faster. I think the Baneling Nest might just barely be too late. It really depends for SERRAL. If he makes Banelings immediately, actually, REYNOR hasn't moved out. Baneling Nest is done. REYNOR has not moved out yet, and the Baneling Nest is finished right now, guys. Okay, go to SERRAL's camera. If SERRAL's morphing 2 Banelings forward. He thinks he's being aggressive. He's actually got the tech advantage right now. He doesn't see the lings, though. That's the problem. The lings are going down the right. He doesn't see them. Oh my god, pushing that Overlord back is game-changing. SERRAL thinks he's the aggressor, but REYNOR can pull back, put his queens in the choke point and be okay. Careful, REYNOR. REYNOR's got some queens and lings here. He's trying to spread against the Banelings. Amazing spreads for REYNOR. His lings flooded. SERRAL did not see this coming at all. SERRAL thought he was the aggressor in this game, but REYNOR defends the Baneling ling at home, backstabs like crazy, and SERRAL has to tap out just like that. The power of denying your opponent's Overlord vision. SERRAL caught with his pants down. I want to show you guys that one more time. When this Overlord at the front died, SERRAL was in trouble. Why? This Overlord here. Because this Overlord was so paranoid about REYNOR taking the base to the left. He's like, I need to see when he takes the third. He was so worried about spotting the third bases, he wasn't spotting the move-out paths. This Overlord came too far forward. It gets killed. REYNOR commits pretty hard for that. And SERRAL says, not a big deal, because I'm being aggressive anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, he technically should have been grabbing this Overlord or this Overlord and moving it out to the right, and he does. But you can see it's just not there in time. There's this window in time where that's not there, and his first warning of these lings coming in is right there. And he actually reacts. No, I don't think he even noticed. I think that was just him A-moving his army. And bam, once they're in on top like that, that is a disaster. REYNOR playing a very nice ling pressure. SERRAL tried to get a bit greedy with the purple gas base, gets punished. All right, guys, that was a bit of a nasty way for things to turn. I actually quite like the idea of put on some ling bane pressure, take the purple gas base, and then maybe explode into roaches. But we'll see what happens. Here on the right, we got SERRAL. And down in the bottom left, we've got REYNOR. All right, so we've got 2 drones coming out at a time. It looks like a very standard opening for both sides. That's a frustrating turn for SERRAL. He did defend pretty well. The spine crawler was a little paranoid. I worry that SERRAL might get a bit too defensively minded now. He might be a bit paranoid with how much rain has been kind of surprising him. I do feel that's always a danger on Neo Humanity because you don't really have enough Overlords early game. On a normal map, you just have an Overlord here and an Overlord here, and you can always kind of see if they move out to take either third base, and you can see everything that comes to attack you. Because if you have an Overlord here, they chase it with the queens, the other Overlord can always like cover the other 2 entrances, and that Overlord can just pull back to the right. It's very hard for the opponent to like sneak lings across the map on a normal map. But on Neo Humanity, essentially the Overlords that here has to fly all the way down over here, too far away to support your second Overlord. It makes it much easier for the opponent to push back those vision units. And when you don't have ling speed up yet, you can't kind of fill that hole in the vision with Zergling Scouts, which is a big issue. Wonder if REYNOR continues up the momentum. If I were to imagine, I would say REYNOR plays a very standard defensive Roach game. I think he's just going to take a third, defend with some Banelings, maybe do a very light Zergling Baneling pressure with like 12 Zerglings, 2 Banelings, just to, you know, force a response, get some momentum. SERRAL, on the other hand, I really don't know what he does here. Being down 0-2, I imagine that same sort of style is what his instincts tell him to do. But another kind of, I would say, safer style is to yourself go for one of the Carapace attacks. If you go fast Carapace, you go Roach Baneling off like 40 drones. That's a pretty good way to keep yourself safe in the matchup and also have the ability to take some momentum. But I'm not really sure where SERRAL's headspace is at recently. I mean, he's been so dominant recently. He's looked like he's mentally ahead on the build plans, on the strategies, on pretty much everything in most of his series. Finding himself down 0-2, we're going to see, as good as SERRAL's been, I mean, he's been unstoppable lately. Can he still pull back those comebacks that he was always pulling in 2018? Because he could be down 0-2, or down, I mean, it was rare he was down 0-2, but he'd be way behind in certain games. He'd always find his way back into it. REYNOR wins that Ling skirmish. Very nicely done by him. Baneling Nest is on the way for SERRAL. REYNOR's delaying his. REYNOR's usually a little bit more comfortable being greedy. So the thing is, if SERRAL did do like a Ling Flood, REYNOR can't really defend his third with Banelings. He has to rely on Zerglings. And he's going up to 18 Zerglings, which is a decent count. It's not a super duper high count, but it's pretty decent. So he's doing that off 23 workers as well. So it's a very fast Ling pressure that REYNOR's going for. And he's going to try and drone hard behind it and defend with delayed Banelings. So only slight variations in the build so far. SERRAL, look at that. He's already preparing to morph Banelings in the mineral line. I love that positioning. He's got the healthy Zergling guarding the weak ones. He morphs them all into Banelings, so you can't focus them down. REYNOR's trying to focus them down. He gets one of them. SERRAL is more than defended right now. And the Lings are going to split up and try and attack multiple sides at once. REYNOR with a good fight here. SERRAL does split his units up pretty well, though. Oh, look at this. REYNOR's so annoying. One Ling goes in the natural. The drones try to fight it, but it's running circles up in that top left of your screen. Doesn't end up getting any drones, but it's only because SERRAL is a beast and is good at handling REYNOR's multitasking. That's a scenario where if REYNOR's playing against me, I lose 4 drones on the natural without even realizing that single Zergling split off. SERRAL's a bit too quick, though, to fall for that one. Roach Warren's on the way. Nice and early for REYNOR. Looks like he's planning some aggression yet again. SERRAL's getting caught up in the Ling Bane game. He has not built an Evo, he's not built a Roach Warren or a second gas, and he's only got 2 workers on gas. This is a big mistake, guys. SERRAL has not put back on gas. He does start a second gas geyser, finally puts that 3rd worker back on gas, distracted by the Ling Bane skirmishes. That gives him a bit less flexibility. You can see it in that gas count. REYNOR's leading significantly. Ling Bane skirmishing. REYNOR's spreads are so good. They're so last second. Oh, his reactive spreads against the Banelings are amazing. Looks like SERRAL tried to get in there with a Zergling and did actually get a drone before losing the 1 or 2 Lings that ran in. SERRAL's Overlords are being pushed back. REYNOR's building 4 Roaches, but he's actually making a lair and more drones. So looks like REYNOR is saying, actually, you know what? Let's just play a defensive game with those Roaches. Let's macro on up. SERRAL, on the other hand, does not have a lair just yet or an Evo chamber. 2 more Overlords building for SERRAL. I was about to say, he could queue up Roaches here. He's got enough supply free to do it. But he queues up 3 more drones, and it feels like both guys are trying to feel each other out. They both want to play a macro game, but they're very paranoid that the other guy is just going to shove Roach Baneling across the map. So definitely a bit of paranoia. Notice SERRAL here is purposefully trying to gear up to be a little more flexible in the game by overbuilding Overlords. So he's actually keeping a really big supply gap free. He's got 9 Roaches on the way. This is a fake pressure from REYNOR, but it's forced a huge response out of him. And you know what? REYNOR's swapping mutas. REYNOR's swapping Mutalisks. This is old school, baby. We're going to see a Spire go down in the main base. Oh my. So he forces a lot of Roaches out of SERRAL. SERRAL also delayed his droning. SERRAL's lair has not even started. And SERRAL's going to go for a big Roach push, but it's 10 Roaches, a few Banelings, a few Zerglings. You might think, oh, it's a big scary push. Not really. REYNOR can still just build Roaches to defend this, because SERRAL wasn't planning to do this. It's not an optimized push. It's a, you made me build a bunch of army because I thought you were coming to kill me. I guess I have to use this to pressure you. And so it's not that scary for REYNOR. He should be able to defend this with Roach Queen, a few Banelings, get mutas behind it, and do very well. Banelings do waddle in from the left side. SERRAL not able to take out any kills. Looks like he only got a Zergling or something on the left. SERRAL's not able to find any damage. His drone count's decent, but this is not good enough. And the reason why is, for those who don't know, when you're playing Roach versus Muta, you want to be up a base or at least 10 to 15 drones. Because when the Mutalisks pop, guess what? You have to build queens, spores. You need to spend lots of drones building spores. Every spore you build you lose a drone. Every queen, 150 minerals. That isn't going to help you later in the game. You don't really want queens later in the game. SERRAL does get a snipe on Reynor's 4th, though, which is super nice. The problem for SERRAL is that even more sells the story of a Roach game. Because you'd have to be crazy if you're playing Mutalisks to try and get a 4th base this early. SERRAL may not realize that Reynor is absolutely insane, though. The man is greed personified. He loves to just cut those corners and get away with things. Risks that SERRAL would never dare take, Reynor does on a daily basis, and he's up 2-0. He can afford to do that as well. SERRAL's running around. Does he realize? He drops the Hydra, and I think he realized that something was missing there. He's going to go for a Roach drop around the very bottom right of the map to try and backstab. His other Overlords need to go home right now. He's got them patrolling, but the Mutalisks here, he needs to pull these Overlords back. He's building spores, and remember, he's already losing drones. Building spores, he's going to lose Overlords. He's going to lose queens. He's going to lose so many minerals, while Reynor's going up to 80+ workers. Reynor is also going to snipe SERRAL's 4th. He doesn't even get a cancel. This is a disaster. SERRAL did not see this Mutalisk swap coming. Reynor has gone back to his classic anti-SERRAL strategies from years past. It's been a while since he used them, and it's that thing right when you don't play against something for a while, you let your guard down against it. It's the fake Roach push, which scares SERRAL, makes him overreact, and then hard swap into Mutalisks. SERRAL finds himself with 24 Roaches and no use for them. He could try to sneak around with those Roaches. If he did sneak around the right of the map with the Roaches, he actually could shove in and do big damage. But he's not doing that. He's sitting at home with 24 Roaches that have no purpose in this game other than to just chill. They can't vomit into the air. They cannot shoot that acid and spew it onto the Mutalisks. Queens and Hydras are coming out. SERRAL's trying to hang on, but he's down 16 workers. And we've got Baneling speed on the way. Reynor is going to play mass Mutalisks. Roaches are coming in with the Roach drop. I do like that Roach drop, but great reaction by Reynor. He's on top of it. He's going to deal with it. From this position, I think SERRAL needs to go Infestors. If he gets Infestors out, he can do it. 5 Infestors and then go Hive. He can actually do it. Roaches do sneak down the right. He'll cancel the 5th of Reynor. That's something. Reynor loses a Mutalisk there. 6 Queens, 11 Hydralisks are out. Reynor's just doing a Roach Hydra all in. He's just going to try and shove with Roach Hydra. He's got Groove Spines. He's going to start Muscular Augments. He's going to try and max on 65 drone Roach Hydra. The problem is when Baneling speed finishes, if the Banelings connect with the Hydras, the Mutalisks will clean up everything else. There's 19 Mutalisks. Not many Banelings right now. He dives. That's not many Hydras. They're out in the open. SERRAL makes a misplay. His Hydras a bit exposed. And guess what? 6 Hydras for 3 Mutas. Reynor's rich. He'll take that trade any day. For Reynor, any small trade you take is amazing. He can start rolling Banelings into Mineral Lions now as well. Flying Mutas around and circling. Focusing Spore Crawlers down. The moment you hit about 14 Mutalisks, you can take on a Spore Crawler if you micro without even losing a single Mutalisk. So he's actually in a great spot. The Lings are going to run past. Banelings do finish, and pretty good blow-ups there for SERRAL, but oh, Banelings roll on the Hydras on the front, and Reynor just playing such a good style. He used to give SERRAL so much trouble with this in years past. It's a blast from the past, and it works once again. The fake Roach push into the Muta swap. Such a frustrating style. SERRAL did not get to play his game at all. He was one step behind. Reynor was cutting some corners that he didn't realize, and Reynor takes advantage. Gets revenge. SERRAL 3-0'd him rather dominantly in Sweden. And Reynor says, okay, mate, you did it once. People have been saying I'm washed up, and that pisses me off. So he fights back, gets the 3-0. Bloody well played. GG, well played.